How did we get here? How did we get to a place where this happens? How do we get to a place where Pennsylvanian Governor Josh Shapiro's house gets firebombed? What are we doing as a country? What are we doing wrong? Is it the left that's incredibly violent? It's the right. Who is the violent ones? How do we get to a place where we have a man that not only wants to firebomb a governor's mansion while his family is asleep, with ideas and dreams of taking him out and his entire family out? How do we get to a place where this even happens? Even Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, is concerned and worried and doesn't understand what's actually happening. As here's a picture of him getting carted off to jail. So silly. I'm a silly Billy. How do we get to a place where political violence is seen as exciting, pumped up, crazy? Not only did we have Josh Shapiro, we also had just a few days ago, the FBI arrested a man for actually firebombing a New Mexican Tesla showroom. Nice pink lipstick. It really matches your skin. How did we get to a place where a kid literally murders his parents with a plot to take out and assassinate President Trump? And somehow there's like weird connections to Ukraine? I'll tell you how we got to a place where that happened right after these messages.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go let the world
Trust the government.
She sent in a little video for us. Oh. Here she is.
Hey, in spite of everything you've heard, and let me just make sure you all know that it's actually me. Say it's me.
Anti-woke.
Anti-woke?
Suck on this, Biden.
Would we the all folks stepping on them because it's black.
I wear heels. They're not for a fashion statement. They're for ammunition.
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
What's up, guys? What's up, Swill? What's up, Valor? How are we doing? How are you guys doing on this lovely day? People are just piling in. Back on, Derek. I got the blondest eyebrows known to mankind. It's an embarrassing thing. It's an embarrassing thing, but we have so much to get into. Look, we have some serious news to get into at the beginning. Very serious news, and I'm just trying to pay attention to the culture, pay attention to what's going on in the world. And then we have some funny news, what I think is hilarious. I think the Blue Origin thing is absolutely hysterical, and I'm loving every second of it. The idea that people are now going to space in today's world and calling themselves astronauts by literally doing nothing is one of my favorite things. I just want to I wish I could interview an astronaut today and just see how they're feeling about all these words being tossed around like astronaut to Katy Perry. Could you imagine being like Buzz Aldrin, which obviously we never went to space. That's the bottom line. Could you imagine being Buzz Aldrin and seeing Katy Perry and Gayle King from CBS, Miss Sanchez herself going into space, and the media is like, how do you feel about being first all-female crew astronauts? Oh, I would be so mad. You spend your whole life getting ready to fly, and you have these people just freaking cosplaying your job. Oh yeah, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. No, don't worry about it. Okay, let's get into the real news, okay? Let's get into some psychotic news. This is crazy. Josh Shapiro's house over the weekend was firebombed by reported potentially leftist, psychotic individual. But why is political violence seen as something to be praised? I mean, we had everybody known to mankind, including one of my favorite comedians, a ginger himself, Bill Maher, talk about being excited about what Luigi Mangioni did. You know, the voice for the people. And so now you're going to have copycat killers, per se, where people are like, you know what? When I feel overwhelmed and I feel absolutely overstimulated by what the government is doing to me because I'm incredibly paranoid and off my rocker, that means I should do exactly the same. And I'll be praised exactly like Luigi Mangioni. In fact, women everywhere will be flocking to me. And it'll be one of the best days of my life. That's why you're having copycat killers. But where did it all start from? How come this is seen as normalized? So you had over the weekend, you had an individual, a psychotic individual, decide, you know what? I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Look at him. He looks so silly. He's like a silly Billy. He literally just firebombed somebody's house and also had plans to use a hammer to murder a sitting governor. It's so funny. Let's get a zoom in on the silly Billy. Let's get a little zoom in on him. Oh my God, he's so funny. You're just like Luigi Mangioni. You're just as good looking. SNL is going to make skit after skit about you, about it being sexy and it being so hot that you're standing up against the man. It's honestly so pathetic. But here's Josh Shapiro reacting to it. Of course, and just keep in context, Josh Shapiro said absolutely nothing when Antifa was doing the entire Summer of Love and destroying in his entire state. And again, these Democrats like to pretend like Antifa was that was a nothing burger. That whole summer was a nothing burger, and January 6th was the worst day in American history. Antifa did absolutely nothing. And then it's just crazy. You know, everybody makes fun of people being swatted until they get swatted. And now we've developed this culture of being okay with violent crime, particularly political violent crime. And you have to ask yourself, where does this all go? But here's Josh Shapiro, actually. He looks like Rasputin's love child. He does look like Rasputin's love child. That is me, Mother Russia, Privit. I mean, listen to this.
We don't know the person's specific motive yet, but we do know a few truths. First, this type of violence is not okay.
Oh, you should have had that same rhetoric at the beginning. But again, and I totally agree with you, it's not okay. But you said nothing until it started happening to you. You said nothing, okay? And that's my biggest problem with this. And maybe he'll finally wake up and realize, oh, maybe I shouldn't have winked and nod at Antifa and some of the main things. And we're going to get in some absolutely insane clips that I pulled old clips up about where I see this leftist violence coming from, but their whole base is winking and nodding at this. But here's Josh Shapiro reacting to it.
This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society.
Yes, it is.
And I don't give a damn if it's coming from one particular side or the other.
Yes.
Directed at one particular party or another, or one particular person or another.
Yes.
It is not okay.
Yes.
And it has to stop. We have to be better than this. And we have a responsibility to all be better.
Yes, 100%. 100%. We've been winking and nodding, and when we say wink, we mean the entire Democratic Party. They have never meant to condemn these violent attacks. Look at the schnoz on this guy, though. Oh my God, that's at least 20 inches. You know what they say. This guy looks absolutely deranged. I mean, he looks psychotic. He looks crazy, and I think he's just trying to have his moment, and we're going to give it to him. Here's him with his family, and I don't want to spend too long on it because it's you know, there's kids on there. You can't incriminate, put in those kids. But this is not where it ended. Again, we have clips to where I'm going to say where this all comes from, but we have another clip. We have a clip of this kid who has one of the most insane, I mean, his picture being locked up is so psychotic looking. He looks like he's trying to become the next American Joker or something. He looks absolutely deranged and psychotic. But here is him. Apparently he murdered his parents. He decides to off his parents with plans to, I guess, use their credit card, or use their money in order to assassinate President Trump. It's just weird.
It's a better understanding of the trail investigators followed in this case and how the murders were part of a much larger, disturbing plot. They detail Nikita Kassap's internet activity and conversations about white supremacy and overthrowing the government.
It's always about white supremacy, isn't it? It's just like, if we can tie it to some kind of right-wing extremism, it has to be right-wing extremism. It can't be just people feeling so overwhelmed and underpowered by the government, they feel like they have no choice but to do something drastic. You know, I run into these people all the time, and particularly on the left. They feel like they wink and nod. They love Luigi Mangioni. They think he's so cool. He like stood up to the man, and it's like cool and awesome. And then the entire summer of love, where Antifa destroyed whole cities, people died. Lots of people died. But you know, that was like the voice of reason. That was the voice of the unspoken, the unheard. And it's important to raise up an army and speak for those things. And if violence happens, you know what? Who said protests had to be safe? Who said protests had to be nonviolent? Okay? That's literally what the left has been doing. That's what the left has been doing. What happens to a Democrat violence has gone too far when it happens to Republican crickets from the left. Yeah. When a Republican, something bad happens to a Republican, like somebody trying to kill a Supreme Court, like that happened before, where what's his face tried to break into I forget, I'm losing track. That Supreme Court justice. Nothing. Crickets. Somebody tried to break into somebody's house in the middle of the night. Crickets. Nothing happens. But of course, and I think all of this should be covered.
A federal search warrant, unsealed Friday, details a murder plot as part of a plan targeting President Donald Trump. The documents attribute that plot to 17-year-old Waukesha student Nikita Kassap. Charged in the shooting deaths of his mother, Tatiana, and stepfather, Donald Mayer, inside their home February 11th. According to prosecutors, the teenager stayed inside the home with their bodies for 12 days.
Victim B body appeared to have been deceased for some time, was unable to definitively identify who it was.
Police arrested Kassap in Kansas weeks later, finding him with his stepfather's car, gun, and $14,000.
The weirdest thing about this kid, too, is that there's like there's been reports out that said that like his online play or his online groups have been somehow connected to Ukraine. Like his plan was to kill Trump and then like fly to Ukraine. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Where does Ukraine come from?
Motive for the murders, according to the federal warrant.
Yeah, thank you, Valerie. Cuomo said, who said protests have to be peaceful? Exactly.
Was to use that money to fund a plan calling for the president's assassination, to, quote, foment a political revolution in the United States and save the white race.
Obviously, this kid is off his absolute rocker, but then we also had this. A domestic terrorism. FBI arrests a man for firebombing New Mexican Tesla showroom headquarters. And look how beautifully this woman looks. Oh, that's the man. It's just so hard to tell these days, isn't it? It's so hard to tell if is that a woman or a man? I just can't tell by the beautiful purple lipstick. And
you do look beautiful. I mean, you look good with that purple lipstick.
A 40-year-old New Mexican man had been charged over arson attacks that targeted the headquarters of the Republican Party and the Tesla showroom in Albuquerque, aka Borque. The Justice Department announced, the DOJ said on Monday, that 40-year-old Jameson Wagner had been arrested by the FBI over attacks, which burned 2 Teslas and left significant damage to the GOP headquarters in Albuquerque. Attorney Pam Bondi said that the DOJ is finally releasing the Epstein files. Okay, that's not what it says. Attorney Pam Bondi said that the DOJ would be seeking 40 years in prison for Wagner if he is convicted. Wagner was charged with 2 counts of malicious damage or destruction of property by fire or explosive. She goes on to say, let this be the final lesson to those taking part of an ongoing wave of political violence. Pam Bondi said, we'll arrest you, we'll prosecute you, and we will not negotiate with terror. Crimes have consequences. Respect pronouns. I'm sorry. You're right. I should have. What's up, Yakobed? Not getting notified? Rumble's not notifying? What kind of rumble is this? Okay. So we have the New Mexican firebombing. We have this kid that decides to off his parents and decide to, he wants to kill Donald Trump. And then you have this guy who literally firebombs a sitting governor at the mansion. And these pictures are absolutely devastating. I mean, it's just crazy. Look at the decorations. It looks like absolute poop. It looks like poopy. I mean, it looks... I mean, that room is torched. Look at the difference between this back room and this front room. But where does this all come from? Where does this all come from? And I think it comes specifically, and I mean, not the Atlantic, but the Pacific Ocean. I think it becomes specifically directed towards Democrats. I think for the longest time, Democrats and people on the left-wing media have been winking and nodding at political violence. They're pretending like it doesn't actually exist. They pretend mostly peaceful protests. We'll never forget that bottom headline. But it all started around that summer of love. And not only do they pretend like none of this is true, and they like to pretend like, as Joe Biden says, Antifa is just an idea. That's one of my favorite parts. Here's the exact clip of Biden saying that.
Listen, that's what his FBI, FBI director said.
Well, then, you know what? No, we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next. We're moving.
When a bat hits you over the head, that's not an idea. Everybody in your administration tells you the truth has a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no ideas.
Antifa is a dangerous,
all right,
radical
gentlemen,
group.
we're now moving.
Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing.
FBI director.
This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
You got
Antifa is an idea, not an organization. How dare you? How freaking dare you? Again, when it's happening to you, you're afraid for your life. Democrats wink and nod. Hey, you know, that CEO wasn't my dad. He was just the voice of the unspoken. He was just a good guy. He was fed up with the system and he felt like he had to take matters into his own hands. Oh, but when it's a Democrat governor, all of a sudden we care. All of a sudden it's a problem. Huh. So again, Jess says move over to Rumble. Nice. What's up, Jess, on Rumble? So is Antifa just an idea, or was it an entire organization that seemed to be propped up in every major city in America to cause absolute destruction? I mean, they literally firebombed the White House and a church outside of it, forcing Donald Trump to go in a bunker. But, you know, they make fun of Donald Trump for going in a bunker. Donald Trump had to go in a bunker that night? What a loser. It's just pathetic. It's pathetic to see him do that. Again, you are the ones that are propping up and encouraging this violence. And again, and I don't even know if I can play this clip. I think I'm gonna, because he literally says this. Okay, I think I'll play it. I'll play it because I'm crazy. We're crazy here at the Derek O'Shea Show. We're not afraid to play the clips because I didn't say it. Hasan said it. Hasan, for many that don't know, is one of the biggest leftist streamers on Twitch. Your 13-year-old boy is probably watching him eat food and spread leftist nonsense everywhere. And he thinks he's like a very serious character and someone to be taken seriously. But here's him calling for violence against a sitting senator. Okay, listen.
Not alone. No. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay?
What? What? I'm so confused. Where is this political extremist violence coming from? I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. No, I'm not saying that people are listening to this and they're automatically like, I'm going to do it. But to pretend like the left doesn't have a major issue and a major problem winking and nodding and pretending like political extremists don't actually exist on their side of the aisle, it's only these right-wingers. It's only these right-wingers. It's only January 6 people. Republicans are so violent. They did January 6 where no one died. All these Republicans all forgot their guns at home and took over the government. Again, he was only banned for a few days for this. That's the most insane. That's like the most insane part for me is that he was banned only for a few days for this. You're banned for only a few days? Dude, I got banned for like weeks or like multiple weeks for just making stupid jokes that had nothing to do with this kind of stuff. Rob Max says, I just need to hear what Destiny tells me what to think. Yeah, me too. Who would serve the executive orders from Hasan, says Valerie? I don't know, probably some 13-year-old boy. It's disgusting how these people wink and nod. But then we get to this, and this is Taylor Lorenz. And she is one of the most despicable human beings. Even my throat can't handle her.
That's what she said.
Here is a clip from CNN. And in this CNN interview, she is literally winking and nodding at Luigi Mangioni. Isn't he cute? Isn't that little murderer adorable? And again, she's propped up everywhere. If you go to Netflix, she's in one of the top viewed things for some stupid thing called influencers. I mean, she is everywhere. So to pretend like she's like some fringe, like Nick Fuentes, oh, he's only allowed on Rumble because he talks about Jews all the time. She is everywhere. She's propped up on mainstream media. And again, listen to her talk about Luigi Mangioni and these leftist violence people.
Hilarious to see these millionaire media pundits on TV clutching their pearls about someone standing a murderer when this is the United States of America.
Yeah.
As if we don't lionize criminals.
We
as
love
if
it.
we don't have,
As if
we don't stand murderers of all sorts, and we give them Netflix shows. There's a huge disconnect between the narratives and angles that sort of mainstream media pushes and what the American public feels. And you see that in moments like this. And I can tell you, I saw the biggest audience growth that I've ever seen because people were like, oh, some journalist is actually speaking to the anger that we feel.
The women who got her outside court.
Some journalist is speaking to the anger we felt. And that anger makes us feel very angry. And that anger makes us do dangerous things. And that's a good thing. It's leftist violence hour. And in the left, you're allowed to be as violent as you want. And nobody's going to stop me. Do you hear her talking about how she grifted off the left's anger? Finally, somebody was standing up. Finally, somebody was winking and nodding to political violence openly and not being afraid to say it. I'm Taylor Lorenz. Yakobad says, Lorenz cried about being doxxed after doxing libs of TikTok. Yeah, I remember that. You know what the worst thing about her being doxxed was? When everyone disclosed her age. And nothing drives a woman more angry than doxing their age. You're old. I love all these older influencers that use like really young pictures of themselves, particularly women. No offense, women. No offense whatsoever. I get it. You know, we all looked hotter like 20 years ago. So you got to do what you got to do. You got to grift off of something. Yeah, she's 55. She's 105. But nothing makes her madder than that. Awesome TikTok talking points. Yeah, thanks, Rob. Johnny says, leftist violence is here and queer, and it goes with a good, nice light beer. Make it a Bud Light. What's up, Papa? You missed everything. And here's Taylor Lorenz winking and nodding and telling you she grifted off of the left-wing anger.
We're like, oh, some journalist is actually speaking to the anger that we feel.
Yeah. The women who got her outside court in New York.
So you're going to see women especially that feel like, oh my God, right? Like here's this man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome,
who's revolutionary. He started a revolution in my. He started a revolution for me. He started a revolution. How about you revolution? He started the rev. He revs up my revolution, if you know what I mean. Killer T Sales says, as far as leftist traitors of humanity, she's not that bad. Yeah, true. Papa says, Taylor Lorenz, wasn't she canceled after those hillbillies went blind? Yes. And she should be. Calling Taylor Lorenz a journalist is like saying gingers were actually add any value to society. Why you gotta hit me like that? And here is she just going on. I just, this woman is psychotic.
God, right? Like, here's this man who...
He's like so cute.
Swill super chatted $2. Hello, Papa Burlap. You've missed about 2 weeks. Ginger root emoji.
Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, Swill. And we welcome your offensive memes about gingers.
Man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart.
This guy's like, I'm right here. So this is what I have to do in order to get a leftist chick? I'll do anything, I'll swear to God. I'll do anything. Just put me in, coach. I'm freaking... Oh, shoot. What is this? I love that. He's like, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. Taylor, listen, Taylor, I'm trying to tell you, I'm pretty cool. I'm like, I'm not like the other leftist guys. I'm like a good leftist guy. But if you're telling me that I need to do political violence in order to go on a date with you, I'm not afraid to do it. I'll do it right now. I don't know what. Can you take those glasses off? I can't take you seriously. You're not like a rock star or something.
Who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems this morally good man, which is hard to find.
The guy who killed another dude that is like a father and has kids. That guy that killed another dude is morally righteous. And it's hard to find men like this. Somebody needs to do a study on the modern liberal white woman. We need to have a study on that species right now. I need a pay-per-viewed. I need to look it up on Google Scholarly. Maybe I'll do that paper. Look at that. She's never met a man? No. He's like morally like what? Let's see that on slow motion. I want to see that on slow motion. That was like psychotic.
It seems this morally good man, which is hard to find.
Which is hard to find. Look, I don't advocate for violence against women, and I never would. You thought I was gonna go somewhere else with that, didn't you, you freaks? I would never. She is nuts. Thank you so much for that $2 super chat, Swell. It means a lot to me. Appreciate you. She's a POS. Luigi need to get life, though. Yeah, he needs to get life. Easy. I mean, this is nuts. I don't even, let's put it back at normal speed. I can't believe this interview exists. They're just like, where does this leftist violence start from? And again, if you ask any like boomer in society, I love my boomers. They'll be like, oh, it's social media. Social media is the cause for this. This is on CNN. This interview's on CNN. This isn't social media. They'll be like, yeah, it's like Andrew Tate and Joe Rogan that's causing political violence that's riling up the average modern male. They're like, no, that has nothing to do with that. The political violence of the modern male is easily tied to Joe Rogan. Everybody knows that.
He's a person that seems like this morally good man, which is hard to find.
Luigi is morally he's morally conscious. He's morally conscious. She and Meghan Markle would make a great team for the new View, dude. 100%. She's seen it. He's like a morally conscious. Oh, got it. Let's see it at slow motion again. I need to see this at slow motion. It's wild.
Smart. He's a person that seems like this morally good man, which is hard to find.
Yeah. I just realized women will literally date an assassin before they swipe right on me. That's
Papa Burlap. Super chatted $5. I'm half ginger, so I'm allowed to talk smack about you and your kind, Derek O'Shea. I keep my promises. N-word. N-word. N-word.
Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. You know what? That word is not allowed on my channel. Do not say that word. Don't even say the N-word. It's the same thing as actually saying the word, okay? Thanks so much for the $5 super chat, you freaking jerk. Is it me or does her smile look demonic? Slow and creepy? Oh yeah, she's psychotic. She's absolutely psychotic. She is crazy, but she's also the reason why like the left is like okay with violence. They're like totally cool with it. Pepe said, mentally exhausted. The clown world we live in today is spraying massive chemtrails here in my hometown, where they know that the weather systems are coming. Oh, we got a little song.
Half ginger, so I'm allowed to talk smack about you and your kind, Derek O'Shea. I keep my promises.
I know you do.
N-word. N-word. N-word.
I'm half ginger and I'm allowed to be rude.
Yeah.
But talking smack on Trump is not gonna be excused. You say you keep your promises, but that's a load of bull. Your rap lyrics suck, they're not even cool. Half ginger, all degenerate, talking smack, but you can't compete with the best, the most huge and tremendous. Trump's the boss, you're just pretending.
Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Papa said Taylor Lorenz once got PTSD because TikTok comments. That should tell you everything you need to know about her. Yeah, 100%. She's scary.
I'm sure you wouldn't like to be compared to a Trump supporter.
I'm sure you would not like to. Oh God, that's freaking psychotic crap right there. That is freaking psychotic crap. This woman is absolutely deranged to the highest order. To the freaking highest order. She just laughed about a guy going and shooting another man because I'm sticking it to the man. Did it change anything? No. Literally did nothing. And then he goes, I bet you don't want to be seen as a Trump supporter. You don't want to be compared to as... What does that even mean, bro? You don't want to be compared to as a Trump supporter. What are we talking about? Like Trump supporters are violent ones? You're literally praising violence on this show, and you're like, I bet you don't want to be compared to as a Trump supporter? What are we doing? Are you high? Are you on drugs? Is that why you're wearing glasses in the middle of the daytime for an interview in a non-professional manner with your unbuttoned shirt and your black shirt on? Anybody that wears a black shirt for a TV show is disgusting. You're wearing one right now, Derek. I just can't believe that.
Shannon Robertson super chatted $4.99.
Hey.
Love your podcast.
Thank you so much, Shannon. I appreciate that for the $5 super chat. I love you for giving the $5 super chat. Hopefully we'll get a good song from Donald Trump.
Yeah, I just realized women will literally date an assassin before they swipe right on me. That's where we are. I'm sure you wouldn't like to be compared to a Trump supporter. But some of...
Can we just... I'm sure you don't like being compared to as a Trump supporter. What was that laugh after that? Thanks so much for the $5 super chat, Shannon. It means a lot. Okay, just go back to that. Oh, here it is. Let's get a song.
Love your podcast.
Come on, Trump. Sing
Hey,
it.
listen up. Shannon Robertson just dropped a whole $4.99 on a super chat.
Watch your mouth,
Big league
Trump.
stuff. And they got the nerve to say they love my podcast. Please, everybody knows my podcast is tremendous, the best podcast. Everybody says so. But Shannon's got good taste. I'll give them that.
Okay.
Believe me, it's the best decision they'll make all day.
True.
Now, let me tell you something.
Okay.
My podcast, it's huge.
Okay.
Enormous.
Okay.
Nobody does it better than me.
No, me.
And the people who love it,
Okay.
well, they're the best, the smartest, the most incredible people.
Okay.
Shannon?
Yeah. What a cliffhanger. Shannon? You'll never know, Shannon. You'll never know what he was going to say. I want to go back to this laugh. This laugh really got me going.
I'm sure you wouldn't like to be compared to a Trump supporter. But be compared to a Trump supporter. But the Trump supporter. The Trump supporter. The Trump supporter.
God. What a psycho, dude.
But some of how people cannot understand why people have sympathies for Mangioni strikes me as the same as a lot of media not understanding why people support Trump.
I totally agree.
It's because a lot of people are just really, really desperate.
They want somebody to take on the system. They want somebody to tear.
Donald Trump is literally taking on the system. And it's people like you that are going against it. You're nuts. You're nuts. But again, the wink and the nod from the left about violence is just crazy to me. And not only that, do we have a wink and a nod from the left about violence. We're also having a wink and a nod from people about, racial tension. Here is the man who stabbed the white kid in the chest with the knife, pleading self-defense. He's being let out on a $250,000 bail. Here's him being let out right now. And again, I love that everybody right now has already made their decision about this. There hasn't been any court cases. There hasn't been. We don't have all the evidence. We have some eyewitness statements, but we don't have. The trial hasn't been set. But people already. This is Marlon Wayans. Yeah. That's Marlon Wayans getting ready to do Scary Movie 10. But dude, the Blair Witch Project. The craziest thing to me about this is that this has become like a black and white issue. Again, I said for white people, this is like the BLM square. You have to do a white square. And then black people are just going out and saying, oh, this is pure self-defense. It's the same as Kyle Rittenhouse. It has nothing to do. It's not the same at all. From what I read from obvious witness statements, this guy seemed like he wanted to do it. He was excited about doing it. And he could have easily ran away or walked away or not fought or just, he could have left. He wasn't in a dire situation in my book. It didn't seem like he had no choice but to protect himself in that moment. It seemed like he was pretty excited. But again, I'm not totally sure. But then the weirdest thing to me is that his give and go at the moment is at $500,000. You have people giving to this kid based on hearsay and conjecture and little statements here and there. And people are giving $500,000 to a potential psychotic killer who stabbed a kid in the heart because he was sitting in underneath his team's tent. That's how crazy of a society we're at in today's world. Just keep that in mind. And this has nothing to do with sides. It has everything to do with People are so wrapped up in their own bubble that they're willing to give to a kid because of the color of his skin. And that's it. Why else would you give? Why else would you give? You don't know anything about this news story. You just heard this story that potentially he was protecting himself from these dangerous white men. Could be all true. We don't know. We haven't got to the trial. Nobody's been convicted. We don't have the full story. We have some statements here and there. It's freaking nuts. It's freaking, who brings a knife to a track meet? I have no idea. Look, I used to run track. So I was particularly triggered by this story. I used to run 400 hurdles and track. Yes, me and another white kid were the only two white kids on 400 hurdles. Someone would call me Ginger Lightning. Some people would call me Ginger Lightning. I used to run 400 hurdles. And the thing I do know, which people haven't been picking up on, is that when you go to a track meet and you're running track, you set up a tent. You set up a tent on the bleachers. You set up an area for your team because you put your crap there and then you go run your race and you come back to your team area because your backpacks are there, your water bottles there, your drinks are there, your snacks are there, your friends are there, whatever. And then you go run your meet and you come back to your spot. You go run your event and then you come back to your spot. And it's a very important area. That team area is very important. This is a very common thing. Everybody knows that this team is sitting here, that team is sitting here, and everybody wants to know which team is sitting where. Nobody has been picking up on this because nobody's run track. All these podcasters, none of them run track. So this idea that this kid just was just sitting wherever he wanted to sit, and he decided to sit, he knew exactly what he was doing. And it's a common rule in track meets that you sit by your team because everybody wants to put their stuff together. That's just my 2 cents. But it's just crazy that we're giving this much money. I heard Texas has a video of it. Oh, see, once the video comes out, it's over. Could be money laundering. Who knows? I mean, his bail was $250,000. Boom, paid for. Ginger Lightning, I like it. Thank you. You took a knife to a sporting event. You took a knife to a school grounds. I don't think that's... And again, I don't think it's self-defense. If you have an opportunity to run away and you don't run away, I'm sorry. I'm like, again, and this idea that he was like feeling like his life was being threatened. It's hard. It's a hard case to make. You know, you have somebody equal size as you getting in your face. It's a hard case to make. It's a hard case to make. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but this could start another race war, which would be just so great for America. Your butcher knives are there. Derek, they called you Ginger Lightning because your skin tone. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't want you to find out this way. What? He could have fought with his hands. He could have just ran away. Like, you know, if you really feel like your life is being threatened, and I can't say this enough, if you feel like your life is being threatened and somebody gets in your face and tells you to move somewhere and is being over the top, just move. Just walk away. It ain't worth it. But we have like this weird culture of like, I gotta stand my ground. People got to know about me. People got to know about me. But I think Bryson Gray makes a good point. He says, this has over 600,000 views, and I haven't seen anyone bring up his race. And we're talking about the 17-year-old kid, Nikta. Oh, Derek, that was so close to saying the N-word. That was so close. Nikta. Who names a white kid Nikta? Man, that's Nikta. He looks like a Nikta. His name is Nikta. He's named after your father. Your father acted like that, was a real Nikta, so you were a Nikta Kassap? That's a weird name. That is that better be he better have come out trans, and he's like his real name is like Steve Buscemi. But deep down inside, he came out trans and he decided to change his name. Derek says it's really easy to confuse running away with stabbing. It truly is. I mean, what's the difference? White kid's going to be an engineer. Yeah, 100%. But I think Bryson is correct in saying that there is a left-wing white anger issue in America. So if we can say like there's like an issue amongst young black males, we can say this among, left-wing psychotic leftards that like violence. It's like, oh, you detonate me? I got to do everything I can to take you out. God. So things are going to continue to ramp up unless we call this out. And once again, it's only one side of the aisle doing it. Just a thought. This is a thought process. Would you say it was better than what his parents wanted to call him? They originally were going to call him Dicta. What's up, Derek? Dicta. Come on, Nicta. Dude, I had so much to talk about tonight, and we ended up just talking about this. Dude, that's Nicta Cassap. I'm going to name my first child that. I'm going to ask my wife right now. Hey. She doesn't want to answer me. She knows she could probably hear me. She doesn't want to answer me. I'm trying to ask my wife if we can name our first son Nicta. Nicta O'Shea. I think it's got a nice ring to it. I think it's got maybe the political violence is because of all the acne. Somebody needs to do a huge study on Accutane. What's the correlation between kids not taking Accutane and political violence? What's that correlation? Causation doesn't equal correlation, Derek O'Shea. Sorry. Dang kid needs a GoFundMe for a lifetime supply of Clearasil. Yeah. And this is sponsored by Clearasil. He's like, look, nothing has worked for me, okay? I've tried everything. I've tried Clearasil. I've tried Accutane. I've tried all the essential oils, but nothing's worked, okay? My whole life, I've dealt with this, okay? I know I'm 12, but things are not getting better. They're getting worse for me, okay? They're getting much, much worse. Antifa Accutane? Yeah, maybe he'll get that tattooed. Is there trouble in paradise with Anna Kasparin? No, me and Anna are doing just fine. Me and Anna Kasparin are doing just fine. They're calling the AI girlfriend? Yeah, I'm trying to. For those of you who don't know, my girlfriend, aka my wife, is AI. And we're doing just fine. Look, I talk to her all the time. She's wonderful. She's there for me and all my needs, and emotionally, not physically, of course, because I'm not crazy, but with the advancements in 3D glasses and Web3, I think we could have a really strong relationship someday. Clearasil fighting acne and murder in one zit at a time. I like that. Oh, do you hear my dog? Okay. All right, guys. I've had so much fun tonight. I hope you've had fun as well. I'm so mad we didn't get to my Blue Origin stuff. I'm going to do the show in the morning. It's going to be strictly on space, and I'm going to try to find out even more information. I'm going to try to make that show even more fun. Web 69. I appreciate every one of you guys for being here. Jess and Yakobed, thanks for holding down Rumble, Killer T-Cell, Johnny, Papa, Michael, Derek, Valerie, Swill, always holding down Pepe, Shannon, thanks so much for the super chats. Let me just make sure I get all the thank yous for the super chats one more time. Swill, thanks so much for the $2 super chat. Papa, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And Shannon, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It means a lot to me. You guys support me with your hard-earned financial money. Hopefully one day making this dream a possibility to one day quit my job at Chuck E. Cheese, and I can finally do this for a living and make you guys laugh as long as I possibly can. Police out. yeah, MySpace. I pray that you get a hold of your robot wife and love in a loving embrace sometime. Thank you so much, Johnny. Yeah, my robot wife, I'm going to try to upgrade her for with a Tesla model. Thank you, Derek. It's a great show. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you don't mind dropping a like on this video if you haven't done so already, and put a comment below. It helps me out. It's a great way of supporting small creators is commenting underneath their videos or causing a fight. You know, put some kind of controversial comment at the bottom that causes a stir up and a fight. That would be helpful. It helps out small creators specifically because it tells the YouTube algorithms that, hey, this person is exciting. Any voicemails tonight? I'll get to it in the morning. I'll get to it in the morning. Need Kalana to finance my super chat? Yeah, I don't blame you. All